What's up, guys? This is the Jose Show. Happy Monday, November 10th. It is almost Veterans Day, which, by the way, I definitely have them in my hearts. Okay, so tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I believe that tomorrow is the perfect day to go down to the cemetery or even go down to your beloved grandpa or grandma's house who served in the army or in the navy, and tell them how much you love them and tell them how much, of course, they mean to you, because that is definitely the best thing ever. But anywho, we have a lot of good topics to talk about today, so now let's get to it. Now let's start off with Kelly Clarkson. So Kelly Clarkson isn't holding back, firing off at her ex-manager who once suggested she get a boob job, and her response back to him definitely hit all the right notes. So the singer was amid show at her studio sessions at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas Saturday night when her monologue turned to her cleavage. After joking she was spilling out of her low-cut look, Kelly reflected, "I had a dick manager once tell me to get a boob job." Kelly was totally floored by the so-called advice, telling him she suggested he get a dick job instead. Okay, so she doubled down, saying she's always been perfectly happy with her itty-bitty titties, and reminding fans that yes, people in the industry really do say wild stuff like that all the time. Okay, so Kelly said the whole thing's gotten out of hand, joking that everyone in the industry looks like they're the villains in the Hunger Games, acting like it's windy every day with those tight faces. She made a point to saying aging's a privilege and not everyone gets to be old. Okay, so Kelly Clarkson wrapped it up with a total mic drop. Do you, but don't make me do you. Preach it. Okay, so this is amazing that Kelly Clarkson got to clap back like this into saying this guy should get a dick job, because I think that Kelly Clarkson, first and foremost, is beautiful just the way she is. And second of all, I think it's very low having to be bashing, especially at a woman in the entertainment industry, because I think that we should be uplifting people and we should actually be making people feel confident about themselves and happy about themselves. Okay, but I believe that this ex-manager went after Kelly Clarkson because this ex-manager maybe has some kind of grudge against Kelly Clarkson or some type of anger towards Kelly Clarkson, that he went off and said something this outrageous to poor Kelly Clarkson. And Kelly doesn't deserve any of this, because she is a really kind person filled with lots of love and happiness towards everyone. And she has been in the industry for like 23 years now, since her American Idol days, and she has been killing it since then, man. She has such a beautiful voice and she has such a beautiful personality in her talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show. And by the way, I do send her my condolences, because not so long ago she lost her ex-husband, I believe, to cancer, which I believe caused Kelly Clarkson to postpone her show for a little bit. And you know what? The woman is still standing strong. She is still out there impressing her fans. And, that is definitely a really good example of a hardworking woman that doesn't give up on anything that happens with her own damn life. And I think that to the people that are bashing her, like her ex-manager, for example, they need to mind their own damn business. They definitely need to be nicer, and they definitely should be, more hearted, because that is definitely what they need to do, especially because these type of people are the people that, I believe are unhappy with themselves. They're unhappy with their own lives, and they want to go off and take it out on other people. Okay, so I think that Kelly is very brave, very strong enough to be clapping back, though, because I don't think that anybody would clap back, especially the way Kelly Clarkson did, and is saying that this guy should be getting a dick job instead, because I think that it was just really clever, and it was really powerful how she just went off like that. And to me, it made really good sense that she went off and clapped back that way, by the way. Because here's the thing. The guy said, oh yeah, Kelly Clarkson should get a boob job. But then Kelly Clarkson was all like, you know what? You should get a dick job. See? Because the guy is a dick. The guy is a mean person for saying that to Kelly Clarkson. So that basically makes a lot of sense. Okay, I would do the same damn thing, I believe, if somebody were to go off and tell me something very mean towards me. Damn. But anywho, Kelly Clarkson, we love you. Stay the way you are. We love you for being such an amazing person. Okay, now on to the next topic. So let's talk about the one and only Bill Moore. So Bill Moore spilling the tea, and more because the comedian just confirmed those wild 90s rumors that he used to rub one out before filming his show, saying it's 100% true. So apparently on his Club Random podcast with Cheryl Hines, Bill explained the only way he could sneak in a nap before filming his daily show Politically Incorrect was by, well, becoming politically erect. So yeah, he was all about jerking off pre-show. Okay, so Bill dished the backstory saying his wild nights out clubbing left him dragging into work hungover and desperate for a pre-show snooze. Everything went smoothly until someone clocked his jergens in the bathroom and boom, the story got out. To be honest, the admission tracks cause Bill's never been shy about sex, even recently offering Gen Z some cheeky advice on how to, get things moving again. So guess Bill's all about taking matters into his own hands, literally. And this is all according to TMZ. And this is very weird and this is very funny that Bill Moore is admitting that he is a very touchy person. Because this is so darn crazy, man, that he's over here touching his you-know-wheres. I mean, I understand that the man is a horny man and that he, has feelings for a woman and for sexual things, but to be doing it before his shows and to be all over that type of stuff where he gets too sexual is just too much in my personal opinion. Like, I feel like the man should have just calmed it down, and if he's still up to those kinds of things, then he still should calm it down, because I just feel like it's just one of those things where he will just, I don't know, be more into those pleasures than be into his own career. Like, I believe that it would get into an extent where maybe the man might end up making an OnlyFans, or maybe he might end up being on Pornhub or stuff like that. Because, I mean, doing those kinds of things really drives you to that extent, I believe. And the man, I believe, is like 70-something years old, probably. So I think that he's a little bit too old to be getting into those little actions. I mean, I'm not trying to sound rude here, Bill. I'm not. But you're kind of giving me Charlie Sheen vibes at this point. I mean, I'm not trying to say that you are having sex with men and that you had sex with men in the past, but the fact that you're horny and you're touchy down there is already giving me a little bit of some Charlie Sheen vibes, because Charlie Sheen was very sexual at the same time, even though he was into men. Okay, or just having sex with men. Okay, so I really feel that you really, in my opinion, got this thing where you are not a person with filter because of those things. Okay, and I believe that it's amazing that you're a person without any filter. And I mean, those things that you do, I mean, I believe grew you in a good way, I guess, because, like I said, because of those things, you ended up becoming a person without no filter. But I mean, I feel like you should have become a person without filter with other things or from other things, instead of getting touchy down there. I'm just saying, okay, but I mean, Bill, I don't know what to tell you. You really be giving me these funny, weird vibes at this point, and I believe that now your show is going to be turning even more rated R than it already has been, and that's if the Bill Moore show still exists, okay? But yeah, anywho, on to the next topic. So Kris Jenner's birthday party turned out to be kind of a disaster because Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party was so wild it had the neighbors calling the police. Because TMZ has learned cops were called to Jeff Bezos' mansion after multiple noise complaints from her star-studded party. Okay, so TMZ was told by people who were at the party that cops were dispatched to Bezos's and Lauren Sanchez's 165 million Beverly Hills estate Saturday night after nearby residents reported loud music and disturbances echoing through the hills, and TMZ was told police spoke with security and issued a warning. Okay, so our sources say the noise was off the charts because Bruno Mars performed live at the party and the crowd went absolutely nuts. And TMZ was told officers returned later when they learned large fake hedges were blocking the street outside the property. The decorative dividers reportedly didn't have a permit, so they had to be removed as dozens of celebs were leaving the party. Okay, so as TMZ reported, Kris's party drew hundreds of Hollywood's biggest names, including Oprah, Mariah Carey, Adele, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry, Paris Hilton, and Snoop Dogg, all dressed to the nines for the Bond-themed blowout. Wow. I guess that these people were having way too much fun at that party after all then. I mean, especially with Snoop Dogg being in the party, drinking and yelling and rapping, drop it like it's hot, because literally everybody at that party was dropping it like it's hot. And don't even get me started with Mariah Carey, man. Mariah might have been up there in that stage twerking it out with Snoop Dogg, singing it out with Snoop Dogg, and all that other stuff. And maybe they were even having some shots of tequila too in order to make the fun even more fun. And I think that from there it just got so wild to the point that then the music started to get louder and louder, and the neighbors were like, nah, we ain't gonna be tolerating any of this crap. We are gonna be calling the popo. This is too much. And it's so insane how Kris Jenner was allowing all of those things, because Kris Jenner is 70 years old. I mean, she is already getting to those 80s now. So, I mean, I believe that at this point, she's in that stage in her life where she shouldn't be dropping it like it's hot with all of these celebs in her party. I believe that at this point, she needs to, be a little bit more relaxed and listen to some Chicago or Journey, or listen to some Elton John and all of those other calm artists in her party, okay? Instead of dropping it like it's hot with those Snoop Dogg people. I'm just saying. And it's so crazy how, I mean, this party turned out to be one of those parties where it would turn out to be not just a disaster, but also the type of party where all of these celebs would end up attending it. Like, I mean, I understand it's Kris Jenner, but I mean, I didn't really think that she would end up turning it into something where she would be inviting a la Hollywood. Okay, I thought it was just gonna be Kim Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, Rob Kardashian, and the Jenners, and that was it. Okay? But I mean, I believe that maybe this party is also in dedication to the fact that Kim Kardashian ended up failing her bar exam this past weekend. And maybe Kim Kardashian might have been there to be joining in all the fun, and then she had some shots of tequila with all of those people in order to forget the fact that she failed that freaking bar exam at the same time. And she was like, okay, let's get it on, people. Let's get it on. I want to forget about my failures, and I just want to get on with the jig. I just want to get on with the jiffy. That's exactly what I believe also happened. I mean, we don't know. Okay? I mean, when somebody be failing a bar exam, that is the first thing that somebody would do. Okay, and I'm sure that on the next morning, everybody was hungover. Nobody remembered shit from that party. And even Kris Jenner might have been one of those people that got so drunk and then hung over at the next day that then she was over there drinking some glasses of, I don't know, water or glasses of Pedialyte the next day in order to recover herself from that huge party that she had the night before. Jesus, especially Kim, especially Snoop Dogg. Oof. But I mean, Adele, though, I mean, I can't imagine things from Adele, though, because I mean, that girl, she's so calm. I'm sure that she was all about, getting turned on too, because maybe she just got too calm in the past that she was like, nah, forget it. I'm going to get jiggy with these people too. But anywho, wildness at the Jenners, ladies and gentlemen, shit goes down in Hollywood after all. Okay, now on to the next topic. So apparently Diddy is no longer sober because Diddy's sobriety journey took a detour in lockup this week. TMZ has learned he was drinking behind bars and got in some trouble with prison officials. Sources with knowledge told TMZ Diddy had some homemade alcohol in Fort Dix, the low-security prison where he's doing time, and TMZ was told the alcohol is made of Fanta, sugar, and apples, which inmates give 2 weeks to ferment into an alcoholic substance. So TMZ was told Diddy got caught by jail officials, and prison officials plan to move him from his old unit into a new one. Two sources tell TMZ prison officials have now reversed their decision and Diddy will stay put. Okay, so we may recall that Diddy made a big deal about his sobriety to the judge prior to his sentencing last month, telling the court he was sober for the first time in 25 years. He also said he'd lost his way due to substances. Okay, so he wrote in a letter to the judge, the old me died in jail and a new version of me was reborn. Prison will change you or kill you. I choose to live. Okay, so anywho, there is an update on this. So as of 3:38 p.m. Pacific time this past weekend, Diddy's family spokesperson Judah Engelmayer tells TMZ that Mr. Combs is in his first week at FCI for Diggs and is focused on adjusting, working on himself, and doing better each day. As with any high-profile individual in a new environment, there will be many rumors and exaggerated stories throughout his time there, most of them untrue. We ask that people give him the benefit of the doubt, the privacy to focus on his personal growth with grace and purpose. Okay, so as of 2:35 p.m. Pacific time, just on Saturday, Diddy's family, which runs his official X account, has released the following statement unequivocally denying the story. Okay, so anywho, this is very insane, ladies and gentlemen, that these rumors are going around that Diddy is drinking in prison. Somebody that hates Diddy in prison might have spread these damn false rumors in order to make Diddy look like he is suffering and that he is really in with the alcohol in prison just so everybody can make fun of him. And I am so there for this because I believe that it's so darn amazing having to see that somebody like him is getting humiliated like this, because he deserves it after all of the crap that he did to all of those victims of his, and he deserves to even feel like he's not wanted and that he is a nobody. Okay, after all of those years where he was thinking that he was badass and that he was the dope person because he was the well-respected rapper of all time and that he had the authority to be doing whatever the hell he wanted to do just because of those things. No, at the end of the day, he is not above the law. He didn't get away with anything and now he's getting humiliated. And you know what? In life, we really pay the consequences for all of the harm that we do. Okay? But since it's not true, though, that he is drinking, now that it got denied by his family about these rumors that he is drinking, and that it got denied by his spokesperson, by the way, about these rumors that he is drinking, I think that, yet again, he's still suffering. He's still suffering in prison because it's prison after all. Drinking or no drinking. Okay? And, I mean, these people are looking out for this man, I can tell, since they are already denying the rumors right away. because I think that they want to make sure that Diddy is okay and that he's not doing any harm to himself in prison, just like Jeffrey Epstein did way back in the day, like in 2020 or 2019. And they are making sure that he is not getting harmed by anyone and that he is, in well shape and in well emotion probably and so forth. Because, they really care about P. Diddy. P. Diddy is, their family after all. And the spokesperson, I believe is like working for Diddy, I believe. So I believe that's, another thing. So I can kind of see the feelings there. I can kind of understand where this is coming from as to why the family is over here speaking up for him. But, at the end of the day, they need to admit that their own family member and the spokesperson needs to admit that Diddy, the person that the spokesperson is working for, or Diddy's family spokesperson, actually, Judah Engelmayer, not Diddy's spokesperson, she needs to admit that, Diddy is, not in a good path, and he just, is gonna have to suffer there for the next 3 years, and right now is his first year. And at the end of the day, there is nothing that they can do in order to get the man out of prison, and I don't think that Trump is going to do anything to even get him out of prison either. That's what I think. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, but anywho, I can definitely imagine though this man getting into this, drunk state of mind in prison, and then smoking in prison, and then getting so depressed in prison like never before because of all of the harm that, he is probably regretting at this point, and also because of all of the suffering that he is already going through. And then I can imagine him going crazy and then yelling Cassie's name like crazy, and then yelling all of his victims' names like crazy, and then hitting the walls, hitting the bars, hitting everywhere, and then trying to trash up a bunch of the areas in prison and so forth. And then, getting all of the securities all frustrated, especially. Like, it definitely is coming to in my imagination that Diddy would definitely behave like that in prison, man. Okay, and if there's one thing that Diddy would do if he were to ever drink again, is I believe he would end up drinking shots of tequila. I don't think he would be drinking beer, because I think that tequila is even tougher than having to be drinking beer. But I don't even know if they even serve alcohol in prison anyways. I don't even know if it's even allowed for somebody to be drinking alcohol in prison anyways. Because, it's prison. It ain't a bar. It ain't a place where criminals can just sit down and have a good time. Like, it's just a place where, criminals get punished. So yeah, that's one thing to question. But anywho, this is really insane, man. But anywho, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.